Okay. The question given to us is 0 less than or equal to x. Sorry, x less than or equal to 0 less than or equal to 360. This is the question. So we should solve this equation. So in this case, anytime you see this kind of thing, they're asking you to find values for x. So sin x plus 3 sin x cos x equals to 0. Remember I told you 25. There's this between various circular functions. It's called standard identities. I've done this. Check my YouTube channel. So this is the one we are doing now. We'll do this one in the next video. So that be the case. Everything here is something as saying sine 1 plus 3 cos x equals to 0. It's coming from factorization. If I factor this thing out, you see that it will give me sine x times 1 sine x times 3 cos x will give me 3 sine x cos x. So it's the same thing. So why I did it this way is so that I can have ratio for this and ratio for this. Since it's the same thing and they are all equal to 0, it means that sine x is equals to 0 and 1 plus 3 cos x is equals to 0. So I can still factor this one out so I can get cos x. So cos x is equals to minus 1. So cos x is equals to minus 1 over 3. So if that be the case, I can now go to my table. That is my quadrant. 0, 180 degrees. 0, 180 degrees. So when I have sine x in this to be equals to 0, when I have sine of anything to be equals to 0, on the right hand side is 0 and on the left hand side is also 0. So that means it's the same thing as saying sine theta equals to 0 is the same thing as saying sine 0 equals to 0 and sine 180 degrees is equals to 0. So the values of x here in this part is equals to 0, 180 degrees. So I've gotten that one. Now for cos x equals to minus 1 over 3. Minus 1 over 3. So to get this one, I can simply do another way to do this one. If it's confusing you, if you don't want to do it this way, another way to do this is to simply say x equals to sine inverse of 0. It will still give you 0, and that is the same thing as on the right hand side is 0, left hand side is 180. So then for this one, x is equals to cos inverse of minus 1 over 3. So if you do it well, so whenever you are doing something that requires you finding values of everything, you need to know how to go and find it on all the 4 axes. Notice I found this to be 0. I also notice that it's 0 here. It cannot be. Here is 90 and sine 90 is 1. Sine 270 is minus 1. So it's only here and here that is affected. Because 0 is equals to 180 degrees. Because sine 0 is equals to sine 180 degrees. So now for sine inverse of minus 1 over 3, you get, notice, so I say sine inverse, cos inverse of minus 1 over 3. So you get 109.47 x. I told you that this x is the same thing as theta here. So 109.47. So if I have 109.47, 109.47 should be somewhere. Sorry. If I have 100, what I do should be somewhere around here. Before that is before 110. So So it should be somewhere around here. That means that if I have this 109.47, remember that cos is negative in the second quadrant and in the third quadrant. So, and third quadrant. And since I got this 109.47, 109 runs into second quadrant, and second quadrant cos is negative. So it means that this value cos 109.47 can be found here, found in the first, third, second, and fourth, but it can only be negative in the second, and third quadrant. So another value of x here will be equals to in the third quadrant. So how do I get that? I'll simply do, first of all, this 180 that this thing fall into 180. Remember, there's an approach for finding something in the third quadrant. So I'll do 180 minus 109.47. It will give me 70.53. That means in this second quadrant, 70.53 is equals to 109.47. But I only did that for the third quadrant to be able to find third quadrant, because third quadrant simply says that if I know the value of theta in the second quadrant, I can just do 180 theta degrees plus that value, so it's plus 70.53. So 180 plus 70.53. This will give me 250.53 degrees. So x is also 250.53 degrees. So because this, yes, is in the third quadrant, because it's in the third quadrant that cos is negative, and in the second quadrant is also negative. So for that reason, I find this value, I find this value. I don't have to find the four values. So for that reason, the values of x, or you see theta, will simply be that of the first quadrant, which is 0 and 180, and that of the second quadrant, which is 109.47, and that of the third quadrant, which is 250.53 degrees. So there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. So remember, we did cos minus this give us this, and it's in the second quadrant. And since it's in the second quadrant that we have a value of 109, because second quadrant runs from 90 to 109, and cos that we are talking about is negative there. In the third quadrant is also negative. That is why I found this and I found this. I did not bother finding the value in first quadrant and fourth quadrant, because here and here they are positive, and the cos we are dealing with here is in a quadrant that is negative. So these are the possible values of x. If you are not careful, you want to go and list out even the positive and join for this cos, but the values of cos you'll be dealing with are the ones that are in the quadrants of negative. While this one now, 0 has nothing like negative or positive. So these are the possible values. Thank you very much.